and welcome to Keeping It Real with Shannon Live. It's crazy there because you don't know how it's going to turn out.
My kids empowered me to get out.
What's going on with this remote learning and in the midst of COVID?
I was like, that's really beautiful. That I get to I'm a student state senator now.
Hi, and welcome to Keeping It Real with Shannon. How are you? Thank you for joining us tonight. Hello there, Dr. Vanessa. How are you?
Hello, Lottie. How's everything? I'm great.
Well, good. I see you smiling, so something must be going on over there in Panama.
It's always good. It's always good. I just can't tell you in the air, but it's all good.
Yeah. Well, look, we're continuing our series on bettering ourselves for 2023, and our special guest joining us tonight, coming back, our energy healer that's going to really make an impact tonight. So we want to introduce her at this time.
Absolutely. Our guest today is Miss Carol Nelson. She's returning. She received her bachelor's degree from Syracuse University and a master's of science from Teachers College at Columbia University. She studied access energy of transformation with its founder, Gary Douglas, for over 6 years. She learned how to release layers of negative thoughts and emotions and help others do the same. She has been a speech and language pathologist for 35 years and a clairsentient energy healer for 25 years. Let's welcome our guest, our returning guest.
Hello there, Miss Carol Nelson.
Hi, how are you?
We're great. Look at you.
Welcome back.
You're fabulous in your blue shirt.
I'm trying because y'all get on me if I don't try and do something.
Well, look, we're ready for our hot topic tonight, not letting your problem get bigger than you are. And
yes.
I mean, I was trying to, I was giving it some thought, trying to think about actually, your problem bigger than what you are. Could you kind of give us a little example first of how that works?
Well, the reason why I thought about it is that I used to do it all the time, and I have to watch myself when I do it. But when I was working full time as a speech pathologist, I used to have a lot of paperwork. And I remember going to bed one night, and I was in the middle of a nightmare. It woke me up in the middle of the night because I was in my bed, and above me was an avalanche of papers, and they were just shh. And I was just scared to death that I couldn't get everything done. And I just woke up in a sweat, and it was just horrible. So I made my job and all the paperwork bigger than me, so big that it overtook me even in my sleep. Wow. So that was an example of that. So I've learned tools to make myself bigger than my problems and to put things in perspective, to zoom out like a bird on a wire looking down, like the moon and the sun and the stars can look down at us living in our little houses, and put things in perspective. And I could make things as big as a pinky toe or a fingernail. So it does take a little bit of mindset mastery, a mindset training. I have to tell you that it is empowering to put things in perspective, because otherwise your environment is going to train you. Mm-hmm. But if you train your environment, then you win. That's a great way to win the day, right?
So is that more or less saying that whatever the situation is, don't let it overtake us? Don't let it overtake you?
Right. These are ways. Yes. These are ways to don't mean to cut you off. These are ways to overcome, overwhelm. There are many. There are infinite numbers because each of us has our unique personalities. But I did put together 10, and I have more than 10. We can go on and on and on. But I have 10 here that I'd be more than happy to talk about. And I do want to say that tomorrow night I am doing a free webinar. You can go to my website about that information, easyaura.life, where we could practice these, okay? And I can talk about my course in Mind Bliss that I'm teaching. But if you ladies are ready, I'd be ready to start with number 1.
We're ready.
All right. Well, number 1 is Can you do it? No phone for the first hour when you wake up in the morning. Or at least if you
I don't
listen,
know about Vanessa. I can do that.
listen. And the reason why is that when we're waking up, we are not usually during the day, it's called beta. We're at the beta level of the brain wave. This is our active state. But when we're waking up, we're not at beta. We're in a very amazing level of brain waves. We go from theta to what's the other one? I'm blanking on it, but we're at a brainwave that's very susceptible to hypnosis and to conditioning. And we can also be triggered very easily. And it's almost like somebody waking you up out of your sleep, even though
Right.
you're not asleep. That
Right.
that segment before you go into the beta brainwave is a great time for meditation, a great time for pre-paving or planning your day. You want to plan your day out before the day plans you. You have to kind of take control over your day. Some people journal. What would you like to happen today?
Right.
I'm having a great day today. I'm going to meet one. I'm going to have good conversation today. Simple. You can be that simple and just sit down. And so I'm giving you a few in combination right now because that's a great time to just, you could write down what you
Right.
like. You can speak it. You can think it. But a wonderful thing is to do what kids do. They imagine and daydream. Daydream a good day. If you're, don't bring the past into the future. That's how the brain loses its plasticity, it loses its vim and vigor, and you can go down the road of the brain not working for you as well if you keep doing things the same way all the time. It's almost like, just like you're taking, if you want to go to your favorite store, don't go the same way all the time. Try a different road. The same thing works in the brain. If you keep working the same way, what happened to the other side of the brain? What happened to
Right.
the back? What happened to this?
Right. That's true.
If you don't use it, you lose it. You have to stimulate that brain. So in the morning is a great way to, it's almost like setting the stage, okay? No phone means you decide what's important to you for that day so that you don't get an email or see something on social media or on the news that upsets you or triggers you. You get a phone call that's upsetting. No, you're going to plan the day because you have already written it, had some self-talk. I'm having a good day today.
Right.
Everything's working out.
Right.
I'm having a good day. And
Right.
if you're a spiritual or religious person, you call your higher power. I know God loves me. I'm a child of the universe. I am so taken care of. Today is a good day. You're
Right.
planting your seed, so do that. If you don't want to do an hour, do 5 minutes. Better than nothing, okay? And I'm sorry, I put things on a board here to help me remember. So another thing to do is to write or think about 3 things that you appreciate that don't cost anything, because everybody can do that. And you can even put your hand on your heart and say, wow, my heart is pumping right now and I'm not doing anything. This is pretty amazing. I'm amazing. You know, you could really go somewhere with this. What else can I say? Wow, I just inhaled without effort and I brought new oxygen into my body. Did the sun just rise this morning and I didn't have to lift a finger to raise it? I mean, 3 things. Oh, this pillow is soft. I've done this many times before, but sometimes the littlest things mean the most. It feels so good to be in this bed. I love my covers.
So you're thinking about you're looking at like just that's like real like simple stuff. What about like we want to think about something a little more bigger than something real simple?
Okay.
Which it benefits you, but it's more
and the reason
problems that we have.
Yes, the reason
everyday problems that we have.
Right. The reason why is we are training ourselves to focus on the wanted. We're training ourselves to, so it's not too small, it's just right, if that's all you can appreciate. I'm starting out with small things because we have to train ourselves to focus on what we want. The way that life truly works is like a restaurant. You place your order and you expect it. You have to believe it and expect it. But most of the time, we don't place our order. we say what we don't want. Oh, I don't want a man with and I don't want a man. What do you want? Oh, I don't want that. I don't like when this. There's a lot of conversation about what you don't want. And I have to tell you that each subject, you might think you're talking about the positive end of it, but you're talking about the negative end of it. Just like a ruler or a numbers line has a +1 and a -1. And you think you're speaking abundance into the subject around that subject, but you're actually speaking lack. Does that make sense?
But you know what, Carol?
Yes.
But you know, the interesting thing is that that's why I'm always focusing on self-care. People don't do too much of self-care when they have time to itemize these thoughts, right? And put them in some kind of perspective. And the thing is that they have to value this. They don't put value on human value, if that makes sense. They don't value the little things because they don't think they're significant, and not understanding the benefit of just having the power just to speak the words.
Right. You have to. We have a lot. You know what is the biggest commodity right now? Everybody wants our attention. Everybody wants. So everything is really fast to get your attention. So we're so visual, humans are, and we're looking. But before you start looking at everybody else, just lay in that bed with your eyes closed and just be with yourself and make a choice about what kind of day you want to have. And if 90% of our thoughts, I thought it was 60, I just heard the research is 90% of our thoughts are the thoughts we had yesterday and the day before yesterday. If we don't like those thoughts, what does that say about us if we keep regurgitating the same thoughts and conversations every day, complaints? It means that we're unconscious because we were born to be happy and it's still there. If the gifts of the universe are being delivered to the front of your house every single day, and you're at the back of the house complaining every single day, you'll never receive the gifts.
Yeah, but then why do you think that is that some people, not everybody, but a lot of people, they do a lot of complaining? I mean, it almost comes like a natural thing for them because sometimes people, every time you see them, they're complaining, and it's like, is there ever a day that I could run into you that if I say, how you doing? And you just say, everything is great. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But it's always something. Is that by nature?
Are they complaining about the same thing?
Huh?
Well, I'm
complaining about the same thing.
Yeah, sometimes they complain about the same thing, or either they complaining about different things. It's like sometimes, like when I'm pretty sure you know people like this and meet people.
Absolutely.
Every time you talk to them, either the ear done fell off, or the nose is not crooked, or the eyes are turned back. But it's always something.
But that means they are a master focuser. Do you understand what I mean? We are master focusers, but we have learned as adults to focus on the negative. Why? Because how do you sell a product if everything is fine? How do you go for a solution or a remedy if you're good? You have to be trained that you're wrong, something's wrong, so that you will buy something or buy into a thought pattern and spend money and to fix yourself. So the diet industry is look at all of the industries that are making billions of dollars. A lot of industries are making a lot of money because we have been taught to think that we're broken and there's something wrong with us. But the thing is, they can say whatever they want to say, but the thing is, we did buy it. When you buy it, that's how and there's more to come. Is there more to come, Miss Lottie?
Yes, it is. We'll started off enjoying the conversation because I got to find out more how to make my problem less bigger than what I am. So we're going to take a quick break and we'll be right back.
Oh, wonderful.
It's Shannon. It's Shannon.
What's more dangerous? A man who isn't afraid of death or one who's found everything to live for? I asked him if he was proud of me. He emphatically said yes as he laid his pecan-colored head on my chest, and I went through my mind 1,000 times to figure out what that could possibly mean, and every single example ended in motivation for me. So you may not be afraid to die, but but I'm more afraid to let them down. And I found something to live for, which is a dangerous motor forever fueled. See, your thoughts may be involuntary, but my actions are very calculated. I was a man with a plan, but now I'm a dad with a decree, and you can't take that from me. My sons ain't raised by no coward, and they won't be one either. If this be the measure of a man, the yardstick gonna need way more meters. I take it too far, so they never come up short, because I found everything to live for.
If you're just joining us, our special guest tonight is Carol Nelson, and we're talking about don't let your problem get bigger than you are. So now, Carol, let's talk about some of the main problems that people actually have, the big things when something happens that people think that they just don't know how to handle it. You know, it's like you said, it gets bigger than them because they're not handling it. Is it because we don't learn to handle different situations, or do we think we can't handle the situation? You know, because sometimes it's not that the situation is that big that you can't do anything about it. Because I've learned that anything that gets big enough that I can't handle, I just leave it alone because I can't resolve it. So I leave it alone.
That's beautiful.
It is, yeah.
Yes. Well, I think there's so many things happening there. One is they didn't hear the call when the problem was smaller. And so it does get bigger and bigger and bigger because not everybody pays attention to small things. So it has to get big to get their attention. So it doesn't have to be a bad thing. It's just a signal, let's pay attention to this. And it's a wonderful invitation to change and to do something different because life is worth living. And some people don't feel that way.
Now, you said the magic word, change.
Yes.
People just don't want to change. Why?
Well,
I don't know what it is. Some people just don't want to change.
No, but I think a lot of things come with fear. People fear change because change sometimes becomes the unknown, the unexpected.
Absolutely.
So how do they now deal with this new found outside the comfort zone?
Absolutely. Well,
but then when something like that happened, like you said, with fear. Now, when something like that happened, looked like to me, that would probably really make you change because now something is happening to you that you didn't know. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like with something that you scared, if you scared about something that happens, right? That's a whole change in itself.
No, yes, the change, but I'm talking about the fear of making a change from that worse to better. So they don't know what the unknown is. So sometimes you lack the resources, you lack the experience, you lack the help around you. So when you got to step outside your comfort zone, you're not really quite sure what that abyss is, right? So they sit back.
It's really helpful to learn about your body and about the brain, and that most of us are running by age 35. We're running on 95% of programs. We're not we're so used to when we hear that, we do that. It's like a comedy show. Ba-dum-bum, ba-dum-bum, ba-dum-bum. And some of that is important because that's how you got to get through your day efficiently. But when are we going to choose what we're going to do now if something's not feeling right? Our emotions are supposed to help us to, something just flew on me, decide what we want to do with this. I don't really like being around this person. Well, either you change or stop being around them because don't go about trying to change other people. Good luck with that. Exactly. But just know that when you change, other people change. But so I want people to understand that fear is not you. Those are these programs that we do have a what is it called? There's a part of the brain or the mind that will, hey, you have created some programs here, and if you want to start doing some new stuff, because the unknown, fear of is associated with survival mode. Most of us are on survival mode, and most of us are addicted, literally addicted to stress, which releases cortisol. The brain releases cortisol we are actually addicted to all of those negative emotions: depression, grief, jealousy, envy, blame, shame. All of those release cortisol into the body. But I want to say that there are other things that balance that out and release the feel-good chemicals from the brain, like deep breathing. Let's just do stuff that's really simple. You got to reconnect with the bigger part of you. You can't let the pea brain, small part of you, drive the car.
Absolutely.
You have to relinquish, whether it's to God or the child of God in you. You've got to relinquish to a bigger part of you. You put your hand here, because when your brain is releasing all this cortisol, ready for action, fight, flight, hiding, fighting, whatever it is, all of the energy goes down to the lower part of the body. You can't think straight. You can't. All you're thinking about is survival, protection. So you're going to have the lower vibrating emotions. You put your hand here and you take some deep breaths. And you think about breathing the energy back up. And when you take your deep breath, you get quality oxygen into the body, and it gets to the brain. And when you can take those deep breaths, because when you're in survival mode and scared mode, you don't usually take deep breaths. So the body feels, oh, we're not afraid anymore. We can calm down. The internal organs can relax more. Oh, the brain will cooperate with you. You'll get answers. You'll get clarity. You'll get peace of mind. And the pea brain mind starts to quiet while the
Okay, so wait a minute. I'm
superconscious.
trying to understand this. I'm trying to follow you here. I'm trying to
Sure,
understand this. So
sure,
are
sure.
you saying, like, when people have this negative attitude or negativism or whatever it is, stress or whatever it is it because the brain is not getting enough oxygen?
That's absolutely, the brain can't get enough oxygen when you're in survival mode, because the energy goes down to
Fight
the
or
lower
flight.
extremities, ready to run, ready to do whatever, to take action to survive. Okay. So there's
Fight or
no interest in the unknown, doing something different, because that's it. If you think about war and you know where everything is, all the hiding places are, you're not going to want to hide under something new because you don't know what that is. Okay. So that's the old brain. There is some old brain activity going on here, but we weren't born this way. We were trained to be this way and to access it. But there is a new brain that likes being stimulated. It doesn't want to keep focusing on the past, bringing the past to the next day, bringing the past to the next day. It wants to be a map to the future. Give it something to think about, like, oh, I wonder what it would be like to start my own business. It doesn't have to be that big. I wonder what it would be like to, I really like singing karaoke, going down to such and such a place Friday night and singing karaoke. Whatever it is you want to do, there's no time to waste. It's time to take action, big or small. But one of the ways is to reconnect with yourself with just your breath, because it brings quality oxygen into the body. The brain is what 2% of the body's weight, but it takes up 20 or 30% of the blood supply. Give it what it needs. Eat the foods that the brain likes. Avocados, blueberries, walnuts. Everything's on Google. Do those things. If you're around toxic people, easy. Get away from those environments. But you got to stimulate the brain with something new. It gets excited and it will look for solutions when you say, well, I wonder what it would be like to fix that. Or we could, I wonder who we would call to fix that.
Well, that's true. It's good that you mentioned that, Carol, because too many people focus on what they can't do instead of look for solutions of how can I do it.
Yes,
Right?
because there is wisdom. There's eternal wisdom inside of you. And this other thing that is like, if you could get good at this, we're all good at this because we imagine the worst. Imagine the best. Imagine getting up in the morning and, we think, oh, I have to have that conversation with that person. Or, oh, we're going to go to that person's house. I got to do that. And that's going to happen. We're bringing the past into the present, into the future. What would it be like to imagine with your eyes closed? You have your hands on your heart, whatever you want. And just imagine the day that you want to have. And you can just focus on one part of the day that might be troubling to you. And just say, what would it be like to have it not be like that? And what if we just could tolerate being in the room with each other? What if I was able to smile at them? What if I was able to breathe and not hold my breath when I was around? You just let your mind wander. people don't value these simple little things, but they add up to a better living.
So do we have to keep telling? So do we have to keep telling people when they say about what they can't do? Do we need to, say at that time about there's no such word? I mean, there is a word that can't, but I mean, how do we get it across to people about always talking about what they can't do all the time?
I think they should find out how they can do it.
Right.
Although can't is the back of their mind, they need to find out. Say, if I can't go to the store, right? I just said something simple. If I can't go to the store, find ways of how I can get to the store. Is it that I need assistance, or is it that I need funds? How can I get to that point B? Instead of
but the thing about it is like you said, Kara said earlier. Okay, we are not born this way because we come here as babies and then we grow up. And so what I'm saying is when all of this stuff gets in you from a child, I just feel like a lot of this stuff is taught to you when you're small because there are people who are energetic, who really step out there to do what needs to be done. They on top of it. And I think this comes because you've been taught that way since from a child. So you have that motivation and inspiration. And I think when you have not been, that's why it's such a problem, because when you're a certain way and people look at you like, every time I turn around, you're always doing something. You're busy doing this, you're doing this.
Right.
And, they just sitting back, not doing anything. And they can't get it. Like, why are you doing something all the time? Don't you ever go anywhere and sit down and be quiet or whatever? So, that's what I'm saying is it's like, I think it's taught, from when you're
absolutely.
small.
But there's interesting research. Some twins are totally different, night and day, pessimistic and optimistic. And so there's a little bit of nature and nurture in there. But negative people aren't bad. It's just you choose if you want to interact with them or not, and how much. You just, they're there and they're teaching us what not to do, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you can show them some options of what they can do. You know what I mean? So we have to let go of shoulds, buts, and no more shoulds, no more buts, and no more can'ts.
I know.
But to go around correcting people, I don't know about all the time.
No, not like correcting them. But what I'm saying is, I'm not being facetious or anything, like that. When you say about being around toxic people, you shouldn't be. Sometimes you just be with them just to see what they are doing and why they're doing it. Because you're looking at. Because sometimes when I do that, I just be around them, and I know I'm looking at them like, what is the problem here? But you just do it because to me, I learned something from it because it teaches me that I don't want to be like that person.
There you go. So it has value. So that's all you need.
But then sometimes you enable these people when you're around them and their behavior. You enable them because they begin to believe what they're doing, like it makes sense.
No, but what I'm saying, is you would tell them what they're doing. Like, could you please stop acting like you can't do anything and put your mind to it and do it? But you know what I'm saying? Some people is just stubborn and they're gonna do what they want to do anyway. You know what I'm saying? So my thing is to learn from them by sometimes just watching them.
But sometimes gentleness can be an easy invitation. It's like, you're really good at this.
Right.
I bet you're really good at that.
We didn't went over our time. We passed out. It was getting so hot and good. We didn't pass our time, so we're going to have to go. So we want to thank you for coming back and sharing with us again your energy and lighting us up tonight. And we want to thank everybody for watching tonight. So as always, we'll see you next time. Don't forget, go to our Facebook page, like us, and YouTube page, subscribe. We'll see you next time.
All right.
Today's show is sponsored by Abu's Bakery. If you have a sweet tooth, stop by Abu's Bakery for some delicious cakes and pies. It's Shannon.